What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. Currently, I am on Ziggy's account, guys, a good buddy of mine. Big shout out to him for letting us jump on his account. In today's video, guys, we're gonna have a look at one crazy Hydra team, okay? And that is the team with Ironclad. Now, if you guys are not familiar with this rare champion, he is an orc champion, a rare champion that has some freaking superpowers, okay? Let me just put it like that. Basically, his A1 is completely irrelevant. His A2 is completely irrelevant. His passive is completely irrelevant. His base stats and himself is completely irrelevant, except the passive. When healed, will attack all enemies, inflicting damage proportional to any surplus heal. Damage inflicted is equal to 50% of any surplus heal. Now, I've done quite a few different videos on this champion in the past, combining him with other healers, where he's actually pretty fun. But this time around, there's a brand new champion. I mean, brand new. It's been a few months since he's been added to the game, so he's not that brand new anymore. But he is the very first faction unity champion we've ever had in the game, the Bannerlord, and that is Aislinn. Now, basically, this champion has an unlimited amount of healing. He doesn't have a cap on his healing, which will make Ironclad go absolutely crazy. Now, initially, this team was made by Bronco and a couple of guys from his community that came up with the idea, so big shout out to them. I showed you this team in the top 10 best Hydra teams as well, and they basically achieved some astonishing results. So let me just quickly bring them on the screen for you, just in case if you did not have a chance to watch that video. So this team right here, if I'm not mistaken, is GB, who actually made it. So 8.5 billion damage on Nightmare. Now, I do know Discord, who actually had a very close score to this one that I showcased in my previous video. And is a very insane result with a team like this. Now, this went on for 1 hour and 37 minutes. If I'm not mistaken, I've seen a much better version of it, which basically went all to do pretty much the same amount of damage, but of course is using Bambus instead of a Kriskin here, and he got this score done in 23 minutes. So it's an insane result. Ironclad dealt 11.8 billion damage. A lot of you guys were asking in a previous video, how come the total damage is only 8 billion, but Ironclad dealt 11? So basically, the game will have a cap on how much damage you can deal, and that is 2.1 billion and something else, if I'm not mistaken. So it will just add all that up. Everything that is in excess of that will not actually get recorded for the final score. It's the same in Clan Boss and in pretty much every other content. Is a bit strange, but it all has to do with the coding and math and things that I don't understand, okay? So I'm not going to pretend that I do. But basically, Aislinn will generate a massive heal based off the value of the shield that all allies have. The bigger the shield, the bigger the heal, the bigger the damage for Ironclad. So it's pretty much following the same principles with Wixwell, where you're just increasing the value of shield. We're gonna go on hard difficulty, guys. This is the team right here. We have Amic Trunkard, we have Krisk, we have Wixwell, we have a White Dryaenea, we have Aislinn, and we have Ironclad. Now, you will require to have a bit of a preset just to ensure that the champions will be able to increase the duration of buffs without any issues whatsoever. And of course, to make sure the champions are using the right skills. So with Amic Trunkard, you want to prioritize the A3. With Krisk, we're gonna basically try to use this once, and that's it. Then we're going to increase the duration of buffs. With Wixwell, you do not necessarily need to open with A3. You can put all of the buffs on Krisk to reduce the chance of getting your buff stolen from Amic Trunkard. Is a 3% chance. That's something that we cannot counter, you know. And then we have Nia. She's not really using anything else but the A2. And Aislinn, he's not using anything till the right moment basically appears. And that's when we're manually going to activate his A2 and see the big boom. We're going to go over builds and everything else in a second. I feel like what I'm going to do right here. So let me just quickly explain you one thing. If you guys are familiar with the infinite loop, this is something that has been discovered for a very long time. And when you have taunt on your champions, on one of your champions, basically the Hydra heads cannot devour your champion, the marked champion. So initially we thought that was a bug, but Plarium then confirmed that is working as intended. So it's a pretty interesting strategy with the taunt. You're gonna see how Amic Trunkard will actually help us. Then we have 2 shields on all of the champions. You do need to have a shield set at least on one of the champions. Basically, you need to ensure that that shield does not expire. You're basically gonna be able to grow it, and at the same time, while you're growing it, you're gonna be able to increase the duration of buffs to exceed 3, 4, 5, 6 turns to ensure that your team will not let you down. Very, very important. So we're gonna go A1 right here. I'm not going to keep you through the entire run, guys, because I do wanna show you basically just a little bit of a setup. Then we're gonna go over builds, total damage, and everything else that basically comes from here. So right now we need to increase the duration of buffs. Okay, if not, we're gonna be in trouble later on. Krisk will become the mischief target. I will buff with Ironclad. The reason why I'm gonna buff with him, the more buffs we have on, the faster we grow the shield with Wixwall, right? Because the multipliers are based on buffs, how many buffs you actually have on. I could go further in and put more buffs with White Dryaenia. I'm not sure if that will mess up my mischief target. I assume no. So let's go in and put more buffs. So we're gonna be able to grow this shield faster and faster. So from here on, you want to increase the duration of buffs as often as possible. Now, if we can put in an increased speed too, would be very, very nice. Because why not? We want to have as many buffs as possible, and increased speed will just in general help us quite a bit. Now, we do not want to lose the buffs. We want to make sure the Hydra heads will not absolutely demolish any of our champions, right? That's very, very important. If they do too much damage and we're losing the shield, again, that's a bit of a problem. So you might want to tank some of your champions a little bit. I hope Krisk is going after Wixwell right here, and that's not Amic, because I don't want to lose any of the buffs. Even though we just lost the increased speed, and we're gonna lose the increased speed like this. And I feel like I've just used the wrong. I've picked the wrong moment to use the increased speed with Krisk, because we kind of like lost it on some champions, which is fine. We're gonna try to basically fix that issue in a second. So I'm gonna wait a little bit more, and then we're gonna buff again with the increased speed. The reason for it, I want to make sure I have Wixwell's A2 available before I buff increased speed, and then Krisk's A2 the turn after, so I can keep the increased speed on the team, you know. Will be very, very important. But as long as we manage to keep the shield up, that is the main thing. You want to have that shield on, and that will be fine. If your shield drops, this team will just not get the job done anymore. And it's just so unfortunate that this reflex just doesn't want to proc more often to be able to scale a bit, you know. Right now it's a shame to use this A2 on Amic Trunkard, but we have to, because Wixwell's A2 has no more cooldown. Next time when he takes a turn, we're gonna use it. So this is irrelevant. Same with Krisk. So it's a bit of a bummer that it mainly drops at this moment in time, you know. But I'm gonna buff again with him, you know. We're gonna put that increased attack. Right now I could do this, but you see I have 1 turn shield on my champion. So increased speed will have to wait a bit more. In the meantime, we're just going to increase the duration of buffs, because if not, we're gonna get in trouble. And the damage looks horrendous. 600k damage, 4 minutes in. We're gonna be stuck with the same 4 Hydra heads, okay? We're not gonna have anyone else in here. We're just not gonna be able to kill them with this team. So that is fine. That is definitely not a problem whatsoever. So let's get it up and running. We just need to focus on those shields, basically. So now is the moment for me to basically bring the increased speed, because I have Krisk's A2 available next turn. I already have Wixwell's A2 available. So like this, I'm going to be able to ensure that I will keep the increased speed on my team, and I will continue to increase the duration of the rest of the buffs as well without losing shield on anyone, basically, you know. But you see how close we are. 2 turns, 2 turns. Definitely not very good. A lot of things can go wrong with a team like this. If the Head of Torment is on the board, this will be absolutely painful, okay? This will be painful to basically run. Just one thing to keep in mind, basically, you know. So now we can do this, and hopefully Wixwell will have his A2 available, which I kind of doubt it, or close to it. We just need to basically get a bit of a good RNG to help us scale quick, to increase the duration of shields to like 5, 6, 7 turns, to the point where we're not gonna need to worry about it anymore, you know what I mean? Now, the shield is growing pretty damn slow, I'm not gonna lie. We are getting damaged a bit by the Hydra, a lot of other factors in play here as well, you know? But slowly and surely is growing. Once we're gonna be able to probably go in for like 5 more minutes, I feel like we are gonna be able to slowly notice a much better value on the shield. We do have a lot of buffs though, so we shouldn't have any issues from on that department. But again, we are back at 1 turn duration on the shields. Another thing that can happen like this is when Amic is using his skills, he's constantly going to replace one of the shields. So that will be very, very annoying. I feel like that's something that might be happening right now, and that's why our shield doesn't grow as much as I would like it to grow. But maybe I'm wrong, and it's not really happening. You see how we have 0 turn on Ironclad? He's not getting devoured. That's because of the taunt. Just in case if you're not familiar with that. I will keep you guys a couple of more minutes in here before I'm gonna fast forward to the end, just to kind of like ensure that everything goes good. I do want to basically show you that we are able to scale the shield without a problem. I just hope we're not gonna get a 3% chance from the Head of Mischief. You see, now we're in a much better situation because we have the shields for 3 turns, and slowly we are covering ground in this. On this department, so Wixwell should have this available. Hopefully, Chris will have it available again. We got a decreased cooldown on Wixwell, which was very, very helpful, because the more we're using the A2, the faster we're going to grow the shield as well, you know? So that's why you don't really want to use the A3 to buff the rest of the team. Even though it's good to have some extra buffs, you don't want to go all in, you know, because you're just basically going to risk to either not grow the shield fast enough, either lose the duration of buffs because the reflex won't be able to select if it's going to decrease the cooldown on the A2 or on the A3. You know what I mean? So, Krisk, time to increase the duration of buffs, baby. Time to increase the duration of buffs. Okay. So, they are doing a bit of damage on us. Having Krisk in the team helps with the decreased attack, basically, a little bit. So, that's definitely not a bad thing to have on in here. Okay, there we go. A1 in there again. We do have lots of buffs. We have lots of buffs on everybody, you know. So we should be seeing a massive shield pretty soon. God damn it, it happened. We got 3%ed on Krisk. We lost all of the buffs from him. So the Head of Mischief decided to screw us over, okay? That is definitely not a good thing, because right now he is going to focus on Amic Trunkheart, which means that we have the chance to get screwed again, because if he's gonna 3% Amic Trunkheart, we're just going to lose way too much shield. And this is one of the annoying things that can happen to a team like this if the Head of Mischief is on the board. I really tried to kill him. I was getting so close to kill him, but then the Toxic Cloud dropped in, and that stopped me. It's pretty annoying. I think one thing that I would do better, guys, is to have a curse set on a White Dryad Nia. Like that, I could place a Hex and really prioritize the Head of Mischief and take the head down quick. You know, like this, we could avoid this entire situation. But if the Head of Torment comes out, that's going to be even a bigger problem, to be honest. So I feel like no matter what we're doing, there is no winning situation here, you know. So what I'm gonna do once the Toxic Cloud is off, I'm just gonna make the boom before we're gonna get 3%ed on Amic Trunkart as well, and I'm gonna freaking lose it, you know, before that happens. So we are at turn 99, guys. We dealt 7.1 million damage. Almost nothing, okay? 24 minutes in, we grew the shield quite a bit. So it's time to make the big boom with Aislinn and see what sort of damage we're going to get. So it's all about this skill, which will remove all of the shields and will heal all of the team based on the shield. Now, what I really want to see is the damage. We lost one of the shields from Krisk. The Head of Mischief still has it, unfortunately. 3% chance, there you go. But I want to see the damage that we're going to drop from Ironclad right now. So everybody pay attention. Let's use it. Let's use it. Ooh, look at that. And of course, the value of the shield was not that big, guys, because you kind of like need to go in all the way up to like 200 plus turns. That's what we kind of like reached the cap for the shield. But we had like 100 plus million damage or something like this in terms of the damage that we dealt on some of the heads, and that was definitely pretty solid because we just jumped from 6 or 7 million to 287 million damage, right? So it's pretty interesting. As I mentioned, we had a bit of bad RNG. I'm really not trying to basically go all the way to maximum to kind of like try and score a world record or anything like that. I just wanted to showcase you this team. So the reason why I wanted to try it out, guys, basically, when I made the top 10 Hydra teams video, I was wondering which team is easier to build. This team right here or the team with Yannicka and Wixwell, okay? So after seeing all this and kind of like experimenting a little bit to see how this team plays out, I do think that the Yannicka team is easier to build. And that's mainly because you don't need Aislinn. Aislinn is super exclusive as a champion. Now, in terms of gear, I feel like both of them are pretty equalish. To be honest, you don't really need anything too crazy for any of these teams. Ironclad, 280 million damage. A rare champion. Super solid. Now, Plarium will most probably not touch this team. Similar with Yannicka, similar with Tranda. They are waiting to do the changes to the actual Hydra game mode, you know, so looking forward to see what they have in plan. But let me just quickly walk you through the builds. So that's Ironclad, guys. You just want to have a shield set on him. You don't need him to be very fast. Honestly, there isn't much to show you in terms of total stats or anything like that. You don't need anything specific in terms of a great haul for the Hydra clan boss. So I'm going to show you just the regular stats. It's just basically have a shield set, decent HP so the shield stays on. And you probably are fine with 200 speed. You don't need 230, you know. You don't really need any masteries in particular. As you may notice, these masteries are nothing too crazy. Honestly, you don't really need any masteries on any of the champions. I'll be very honest with you guys. This is Aislinn the Stalwart. He just has like a super random build and is all about reaching the speed, which is 260. You kind of like need to be in that area. You don't need to have anything else particular on the champion either. Same with masteries. Nothing really matters on here. You see, they're not Hydra masteries or anything like that, guys. That's why I'm not even going over them because it's pointless. When we are talking about Krisk, this one is not the one that we used actually. So let me just bring the right Krisk. There are a lot of Krisks on this account, guys. This is Ziggy's account, yeah. He is built on Reflex. Not a Reflex and a Merciless. Seems like I missed giving him the accessories. Unfortunately, that would have helped a bit to increase the duration of buffs more often, but was not an issue as you probably noticed. So that's a good proof of concept to know that you don't need to have Merciless and the Reflex. Just Reflex on its own is enough on a champion like Krisk, you know. Total stats, as you may notice right here on the screen. 250 plus speed is gonna be good on him. You kind of like want him a bit faster than Aislinn, to be honest. Aislinn can be slower than Krisk. There is no reason to have Aislinn faster. Again, masteries, not really masteries for Hydra clan boss. You want to get War Master on most of these champions to deal a bit of an additional damage and stuff. Then moving over to Amic Trunkart, again, just random build is all about getting the speed, and you need him 270 plus speed. Not a necessity to be that fast, but preferably. If no, you can, of course, accordingly change the speeds on all of your champions to kind of like be in the right order. He should be the fastest champion in the team. That's the main priority. Regardless if he's 260, regardless if he's 270, okay? So just to keep that in mind. Masteries, we don't really have masteries on him either. That's another thing to kind of like pay attention to. Weak Swell, Reflex, and Merciless. This is going to be mandatory, okay? So you want to have a 4-piece Merciless set, 30% chance to decrease the skill's cooldown by 1 turn. And you want to have a Reflex set, which will give you a 30% chance to decrease the cooldown of the skill as well. That's why you want to use the A2 only and not the A3. Total stats, again, 252 speed. You do want to have resistance on Amic Trunkheart and on Krisk, just in case if the Head of Mischief will decide to do anything too crazy. With Weak Swell, you do have the power to put the buffs on Krisk, so that will make him the Mischief target. So that's the good thing about it. Some accuracy on him is not going to do you any bad. No masteries on him either. Again, you want to get War Master if you are kind of like planning to use him in Hydra. And then we have White Dryad Nia. Random build. The best build for her will be a Curse set. To put a Hex, deal with Head of Mischief is going to be definitely much better. She should be the second fastest champion in the team to basically constantly decrease the cooldown of Amic Trunkheart skills, you know. So that's something to keep in mind. 269 speed. She doesn't need resistance or accuracy, anything like that. These are the masteries that you want to get on every single champion that I just showed you. Out of all of the champions that you've seen, you kind of like want to get that. Of course, on Aislinn, getting increased healing is going to be nice, but the rest of the champions, War Master, and get the support, accuracy, stuff like that. That was all for this team. Definitely a pretty fun team to use, and you can reach crazy damage as I showed you in the screenshots. I'm not planning to go for the record, so it's really no reason for me to go and basically do 2-hour runs and get pissed off at the Head of Mischief and then having to restart it over and over again. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash a like, subscribe to the channel. Big shout out to Ziggy again for letting us jump on his account and make a mess. As usual, much love. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.